Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham with RCGroups.com, and today I'm looking at something that I don't usually review. This is from Hobbywow, and they said, hey, we would like to send you a handheld gimbal to review. Now, on the one hand, that's not very RC related, but on the other hand, as a person that reviews things, I've often wished that I had a handheld gimbal to do cool shots around airplanes and quads, you know, as an intro or an outro, or just some way to spice it up a little bit. The other thing I've wanted a gimbal for is for going to events like Joe Nall when we're cruising through the crowd. So I said yes, and maybe someone out there also needs a gimbal in this RC world. So I just thought we would take a look at it and talk about it and see how it works. Okay, so I have unboxed the gimbal and I took photos of how everything looks, and those photos should be flashing up here. It comes with just about everything you need. I took the batteries, which are great because I can also use those batteries in my high-powered tactical flashlights, and they had a charger. I charged them up. I got everything going, and then the next part was easy, putting the batteries into the unit and then figuring out how it works. So let's jump straight into seeing it in action and looking at some of the controls. Alright everyone, so this is the actual unit itself. I'm sure you've seen one like this before. And the on and off switch is right here on the bottom. Just push and pull like a flashlight. Screw the bottom off, and this is where your batteries live. It ships with 2 rechargeable batteries. You can also use, I believe it's an 18650, but the other option is to use a pair of these. And I charged those up with the charger that had beautiful blue LED lights. I'm not kidding, it was like Christmas on my desk. So now they're hot. Okay, so just like a gimbal on your quadcopter, this keeps the camera steady. And I'm pretty sure this thing was made for people who want to use a gimbal to videotape themselves. I'm not really that guy. What I would like to use this for is to videotape a quadcopter. So I luckily have one standing right here. I have the 250 size quad. So if I were reviewing this, I would be able to turn my gimbal around. I'm going to pan up so you can see it. And then I would be able to get very interesting smooth shots of the unit. You can turn the handle and make the gimbal move too, so I'm slightly twisting and getting a little rotation. And then the trick is not to overextend it. So this is what I would use this for. I would come in on a plane maybe and slide down the side of it and get a nice little shot like that. The other thing I would use it for is if I was in a crowd at Joe Nall and or Seth, and I wanted to run through the crowd or something like that. So the top button, once again, faces your camera down, bottom. Get it to go farther up, whatever angle you need. So just to go over it again, on and off's in the bottom. Your main switch is in the center. Top switch rotates down, bottom switch rotates up. And you long press to turn it on. Under the working mode, single press the mode button to switch between pan following mode and locking mode. And then you double press the mode button to enter pan and pitch following mode. Single press mode button again back to previous mode. Okay, so let's assume right now we're on the pan following mode. So now I'm going to press it once, and that is the locking mode. And I'm going to double press. So I guess when they say locking mode, I'm going to rotate this down a little bit. When they say locking mode, it means that that camera is going to stay in place no matter what. It's living in the same place. I'm going to press it one more time and see what happens. Okay, if I press it one more time, oh, it flows. I got you. So like I could twist it and move it over and it would give a nice roll. And then finally, I'm going to long click it. Now I'm going to double press it to enter pan and pitch. Okay, so it went up. Oh, and it went down. It went up again. I'm going to turn the handle and see if that can change its direction. Go down. So there's multiple functions. I have to admit, I'm not exactly sure what they're all for, but with a little time, patience, and fun, you can utilize them. Really solid. It did come out of the box working great. It had everything I needed, and it is a quality piece of equipment. It does not feel like plastic or anything cheap. It feels like the real deal. It's I think it's right around 200 bucks, so it should feel real because that is a real price. So next what I'm going to do, oh, hold on. I'm going to turn it off. Ah. Okay, don't do that. I'm going to turn it off. And so now you're saying, okay, Jim, cool. It works on my phone. That's not what I need one of these for. They have a little kit here because I said the same thing. I said, you know, it's not really useful. And so you can also order from Hobbywow this GoPro mount. And so it's weighted, I see. And then I see a couple of screws. Let's see what else is in here. And then we have this mount bar, which I will take out of the baggie. And I don't think my GoPro is charged, but my GoPro is, bam, right here. So I would assume the GoPro goes in like this, which it does. So I would assume the GoPro locks in thusly, and then you take your bar. How does this work? It looks like it's on backwards to me. Oh, I think I know how it works. I think what you do is you unscrew the screws. I'm going to take them out of this thing. I think that they did it this way because this is how they live in the bracket, and that way you don't lose them. So then I'm going to take the bracket and put it around the back right here of the GoPro. I'm going to come in from the front with the screws. I can't imagine why they didn't do this from the factory. Maybe it just is too much of a pain to have somebody do it. So there's enough slack in here to loosen up and slide the GoPro out. I'll tighten this up. So here's your slack for your GoPro to move, pop in and out, and then we'll get it nice and tight. Now I have the GoPro, which is good because it's the industry standard, but I also have the Dasny. I did a review on the Dasny. You can, if you ever want to look up stuff that I review, just look up Jim Graham, the name of the product, and RC Groups, and it almost always just pops right up. I use Google for that because it's quicker. So now this thing's all locked in, and I will take my phone and pop it out. It's very grippy. Your phone is not going to pop out of there. And then I'm going to take the GoPro. First you got to figure out which way is the right way. So I'm pretty sure that this way is the right way. Then I'm going to put my GoPro in here. And then we'll find out real fast if that's the way it goes. I'm going to power it up. Blue light. I'm going to hold. Oh, look at it now. That is awesome. That is pretty swanky. So then I'm going to click it again for the lock. So no matter what I do, I guess this would be perfect for if you're like, hey, and you're running, or here you go, and you're running and you're trying to videotape yourself without any movement. That would be good. Then I'm going to double click it for the other mode I don't really understand this mode. This may be a good mode. I guess if I were trying to get a camera shot on something, I could turn it and get a nice smooth shot like this. So anyway, this is it with the GoPro. I may try to put my DASNY on, and then I just loosen these up, and this comes right out. No problem. So this is my DASNY. This is a like a GoPro, but I like it a little better, and I'll tell you why. DASNY P2. I gotta know it's not gonna fit, but it has, let's see how the battery works on this thing, because I haven't. Oh, DASNY, making me like it even more. So this has an LCD screen on the back. I can see what I'm shooting. Low battery, of course. But to me, it's a little smarter than my old GoPro. So let's see if this fits in here. Oh, it's a no-go on the DASNY. That's a real drag. Well, I tried to get my DASNY in here, and that is a no-go. You could prefab your own, I guess, if you're into that, but I was really hoping to get this one going. So clones do not work in the GoPro mount, only the GoPro. So next, we'll go shoot some video. Okay, so the theory here is that I would utilize the gimbal just to get some shots. So I've got this airplane. Imagine it's on a runway, and I am moving the GoPro and the gimbal around the lines of the plane. So while it looks like really nothing's happening, that's the beauty of the gimbal. It's taking out all external movement, and it's panning and tilting that camera. So here it's shooting straight at the plane. It's curving around the back. It's moved up under. It's going to go over the wing and shoot down, come back, and all that's done by twisting the handle. And we're directly under the plane. So these shots would be impossible to get with camera in my hand, but they look really smooth and natural with the gimbal, which is exactly what I wanted it for. So then I thought I would just move around a little bit and use the different options on the gimbal just to see how smooth, what kind of shots I could get. Starting close, pan around, slide down the wall, bring it back down to some photos, and then go down the neck of a guitar. So these are just some of the things you can do with this thing. You know, you could totally utilize it, like I said, at shows or events or whatever, but definitely does what I had hoped it would do. So just to recap, we've been looking at the Hobbywow Zhiyun Z1. That's Z-H-I-Y-U-N Z1 smooth 3-axis brushless gimbal and stabilizer. This is for a smartphone, but it also has a piece that you can order to use with your GoPro. And for me, it is what I was looking for. It does retail at $208.99, but it is a solid piece of gear. And if this is something you might want to add to your kit, I suggest it. I hope this has been an in-depth review and something that helps you. And look for the next review coming from rcgroups.com.